specifically, a lot of this stuff that I'm probably going to say is beneficial to you also. And you've probably at some point have experienced what the other person has, or you might experience it in the future. So I always like to just kind of have like the open ear, open heart vibe. Maybe everything that's being talked about could potentially be for you, even if it's somebody else's story. Is that cool? Okay, sweet. Who wants to be the first one? The first. Who doesn't want to be the first one? It's so funny.
It's like first.
I know, huh? All right, girl. Well, what do you want to start with? You have like particular questions? You want to dive into something?
I guess I don't have any particular questions. It's just I feel like my brain, sometimes I get in these like mental blocks where I'm just like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing or what I want to talk about, or because I kind of do, I flow in like a chart of like, okay, I need to talk about my product, how I make my product, my story, and I kind of like cycle through those. And then I kind of like on my Instagram, I kind of filter in like or pepper in things about like motherhood and like being a business owner and stuff like that. I guess my biggest thing that I need to work on is my websites, like SEO. I started writing like blogs, so like 1 or 2 blogs a week to kind of bring in like some other people to my website, outside of my original like clientele, which that has been working. Like I've been getting people coming in different.
Really good.
Yeah. So I kind of know what I'm doing, but I kind of don't know what I'm doing because I'm kind of learning as I'm going. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, let me kind of piece this in and we'll see wherever it wants to go. So one thing that I love is like always want to start with a little mindset shift. Just from like my own experience, but then also like for how many people I work with that are women that say the same thing. They'll say something like, I just don't have clarity, or my brain's really foggy, or like nothing's making sense right now. But then they turn it into like a problem. Like it's something's wrong. There's something wrong with me. I don't know what it is. I love shifting that perspective into it's an opportunity for you to slow down and just let it get worked out.
Yeah.
Like instead of making it like, oh, I'm not clear on what I'm supposed to be doing or what the future is or the next best steps. I think the panic of like trying to figure it out makes it almost worse because then you kind of like just talk shit to yourself. Instead of just like
out of it. Like that's why I was like, okay, I need to start like hiking and like exercising and not taking myself out of my house just so I can like bring some kind of clarity to what I'm doing. And that has been helping where I'm not stuck in, like you said, in that mindset.
Yeah, so you can shift it into, and I love what you're saying. And for, I follow a method inside of like, there's 3 states of generating income, right? There's passive, right? That's like shit you've already created, you put it out, you make money from it, right? Then there's active, when you're making the product or you're providing the service, that's active. And then there's neutral for females specifically. And this isn't even like a spiritual fucking conversation. This is like science backed at this fucking point. Women need time to rest. Why? Because you are the intuitive channel, right? Intuitive, you need to like go within yourself, know yourself, figure out what's happening in the world. Like women really need that quiet time with themselves. Men too, but they're a little bit more active on the ground, right? So when you give yourself time to be quiet, to do nothing, to go hike, to be cleaning. Those are like the mindless stuff where you can just be. That's where all your downloads come from. And downloads meaning that's just like, that's my languaging, but it could be an insight, or maybe you're hiking, you're like, oh shit, okay, that's what I'll do and I'll figure this out, right? I make the most money in neutral. And if you guys probably go and audit, you probably make the most of your money when no one's around, when you're by yourself and you're in your quiet space, because that's the magic you're having to pull up out of you. What do you want? What do you desire? What do you need? What's in alignment? What's calling you? What's your passion? What's your purpose? Right? When you start kind of slowing down, that's where you're going to get all of that. And then you show up and you do the fucking tasks.
Right.
Do the posts, send the emails, ask people for collabs. Like, business is easy in that sense, but it's the inner work part. Like, you got to be with yourself, know yourself, go for a hike, because then you'll get the clarity you're looking for. That's kind of what I think.
100%.
Love that. Okay, so backlinks are really huge, practical here on websites. Find as many fucking people as you can that have a website and ask them to somehow tag you. Write a post, share a blog. Like, that is such a great way to build your self in the algorithm, especially for Google, right? Backlinking. Have you talked with Justine at all about doing SEO for you?
I haven't heard from her in a while. She started working with me last April, and I think the last I heard from August. So I don't know if she's just busy or she's just doing.
Yeah, so, I think she was moving through things over the holidays and stuff. I think it's worth reaching out because, like, dude, she's fucking incredible. I think we're ranking #1 for, like, you search anything Ventura County business or a woman. So I think it's worth, but in specific, in reaching back out to her, asking for her, like a heat map, and it doesn't specifically have to be her, anyone, but that would be interesting to see, like, where people are getting lost in your website. Yeah, because when you see that heat map of where people drop off, you're like, wait, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's crazy. So sometimes even just like looking at that kind of the function, the flow of everything might really support that website conversions. And then, I'm always a good one for chat, like ChatGPT. Are you on Squarespace at all? Or where do you
on? So my website's on Shopify. Gotcha. That's where I moved from. I was on Wix for a while, and then I moved from Wix to Shopify last year, around March last year. The best thing I ever did, just because I feel like it's been streamlined a little bit more. But I'm also doing, I'm trying to get a little bit more active on Google. So I started getting like Google reviews. And I'm trying to.
Jasmine Hippie.
What was that?
Jasmine Hippie is one of the gals in the group also. She's so fucking badass. She knows Google. She knows Google. She knows analytics, fucking ads, the whole shebang. She might be a cool connection.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, do you want to go in? I'm going to kind of shoot for like 10 minutes per person, and we could wrap into like anybody and any other additional questions. But is there anything else you want to touch on while we got time? And then we could also circle back if there's more questions that come up.
We could circle back. I think that was just mostly what I was looking for, and just kind of opening my mind to other things too.
Awesome. Okay. Then with that, let me share my screen with y'all. I'm going to drop y'all some. This is for you, Danielle, but hopefully everybody can get something. So we host the business breakthroughs every month, and I usually will create like these PDF files just because it's a lot of info that I'm like, oh, they fucking need to know this. It's not pretty. I'm so sorry. We ain't got time for that right now. So let me turn off my computer so it doesn't slow us down so much. Let me hit you with the resource folder. If you're an ecosystem member, you have access to all these documents. Okay, so you had originally talked about scaling. I kept thinking about this document. I'm going to download it. I'll give it to y'all. So this particular one is for like, kind of like you, for the person, like you've done the shit, dude. Like, you know how to do everything. You're in this point of like scaling, growth, delegation, team building, leadership. And so this is kind of cool just to go through. It talks about perspectives to shift. I got to touch on a mindset. If you're ready to scale. So it's cool self-reflection stuff. And then there's like logistical stuff. Now this is like more for like the delegating, if you're going to go next, people, which I think you're getting called into. Maybe you need a little love and support underneath you. So it kind of goes through all of these leadership. I fucking loved that part. What would you do after delegating? So it kind of goes into factoring like how much money sometimes is being left on the table because we are holding on to tasks.
That's my problem. I hold on to so much and I've actually started like writing like manuals like for when because I'm bringing on a girl who's going to help me over the summer. And like educate her and like teach her like kind of just my day-to-day like tasks that take so much time away from what I need to be doing. But I started doing and I don't know if this is helpful for anybody else, like just manuals, like how do I set up my booth, how do I make my product, how do I package something, so I'm not constantly like repeating myself or like taking the time to explain it. It's like all written down, it's out of my head, but it's in there. So that, there's like a physical like copy that I can even reference it, like, oh wait, what was I doing? So it's just there, and it's I can always say, oh, here it is, and you need to know. But and then ChatGPT has helped me out a lot over the last couple of months, where I'm especially if it kind of like tailors to like the vibe I'm going with, or like how I want to word something, or just creating any kind of like hook where like people are just like, oh, like I want to read that. So that's cool.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, check out that at the end one. That might be really beneficial just to kind of get a like because I do all these, right? Like I'm like, oh shit, let me look. And it was like I had over like $2,000 sitting on the fucking table because of how much downtime I am like building systems. Like, dude, somebody else could fucking do that and then and then you have to make those business decisions. Like you got to take the emotion out of it, but not in the sense of like, you get what I mean? Like you're an intentional, mindful woman, but then removing the emotions, but making calculated decisions. Like, oh yeah, dude, we leaving a lot of money on the table because mama ain't where she's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Thank you for being the first one, and thanks for sharing everything. And then grab that link or download that or whatever, however you do that. All right, who's next? Who's ready? Any questions? Let's dive into stuff. Madison, you ready, girl?
I can go. Yeah, I have to jump at 10, so I just kind of want to ask my question real quick, if that's okay. I just kind of went through I've had this business for about 2.5 years now, and I've like started it and restopped it and changed everything like a few times. So I feel like I've been doing this group trip design for a while, and I think I feel really good about the offers now. I feel like I've gotten the value. I feel like they're really good offers. I've gotten a lot of interest. People are reaching out to me and wanting to kind of chat about what possibilities are for them and stuff. So it's been going really well. I feel really confident for the first time with it. I've been traveling for 10 plus years. I have a lot of background around that. And so it just kind of made sense to follow that passion and be able to help other people travel easily, especially as women, just trying to make that more accessible for people and make it a lot less stressful. So that's kind of the why behind it. But I think the big thing that I have a question about is marketing it. I surprisingly was a marketing major and was pretty good at it. But when it comes to myself, it's too bad. Like I'm too involved. I'm too close to it. So I have those 3 offers. I think like the collective or the focus is around the group trip design, because all 3 offers are around that, but they're just 3 different like ICAs or, target clients. So I guess finding, especially with social media, like niching, I'm trying to keep it around group trips and talk to 3 different types of people. So I guess like I'm kind of having a hard time with like coming up with a good strategy with that, especially when I'm like trying to host a group trip and fill that up and different things. And then the second thing is like word of mouth and really just getting people, like the Google was really resonating, like just trying to be on the map for when people like search like, group or like planning, trip planning, or even people like you, Tawney, who was just looking for someone maybe to help them with their own trips. I'm happy to help with that too. I do that all the time. I just don't have it as it's not, I guess, around group trips as much, but it is something that I can offer. So I guess just trying to get more clear on how to do that.
Okay. Let me ask some questions. So you have these 3 offers. Are you running all 3 of those offers on one account, or do you have 3 different business accounts that you're telling people about?
I have it all on one account. So it's
Okay.
all under Traveling with Her. That's the name of the business. So it's like woman focused also.
Okay. And then, so just to make sure I have this correct, because I don't want to go on a tangent if you're like, nah, dude, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. So you have one account, one business account. You're doing all these different offers. Is the tension that you feel you're talking about too many things on one account, and then it's going to cause confusion and then no one buys? Or yeah, is that what you're saying?
What was the second option?
I was like, fuck, I don't know what the second option was.
Oh, okay. So, yes, I think like in my bio, I just have it as group trip designer. So it can be, I think, for anybody. I think the big offer though, that's going to be the one that I think it's the one that creates the most value is working with like small businesses, creators, because it's kind of like a no-brainer offer. It doesn't cost them anything and they can actually travel with them for free or earn money per person. It kind of just depends, what specific group they're doing it with. So I think that's going to be the most scalable. It's going to be the easiest for people to say yes to. But I don't market that one as much because I feel like it's harder to create like reels around it. Like I can do bachelorette funny, like group trip, like reels all the time and get pretty good engagement. But I think learning how to market to like and be so, because like I'm kind of got that like girls getaway vibe about it. So I love that. But then there's like the small, like the businesses where I kind of wonder if people are wanting more of like a professional feeling, but it is woman focused. So I don't know.
Okay. So you have 2 accounts. You have travelmad.i, right? Is that your
that's my personal, but that's kind of like my melting pot of all the things that I do for like my friends and family if they do still follow me. But I started the Traveling with Her to actually like be more targeted with marketing.
Hang on one second.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to hear me out on this?
Please.
I'm not a fan of starting new accounts. And then it's like, if you're going to, and then here's the thing, if you're somebody that's down to share your personal life, dude, fucking leverage that as much as possible because nobody gives a fuck, dude. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like sell.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can share your life and they're like, oh, wow, because people are really interested in that. And then you hit them with something juicy and then we can convert them. Awesome. So I'm always somebody that's like, use your fucking personal account because you've got your mom, your auntie, and all those people that will like it just to like it. And then you have the people and that will help drive your traffic. And then you have 1,200 people. Now, I understand some of those might not be all from here, but again, like numbers do make a difference in some case. So you have this 1,200 account. The other one's 200. I'm sure you can grow that. Absolutely. But then again, this is where I go to is that there's so many people doing what you're doing. So how do you purple cow yourself? It's probably going to be because you're showing who you are, what you care about, what you like, what you're doing, what you're talking about. Like you could be posting pictures of you in conversation at business meetings. Like, let me see how you run your business meetings. How are you dressing? What are your outfits? Like, where do you get your design? And then you have the next day, like you're resting and relaxing by a fucking pool. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that's my style of marketing, right? Other marketers might tell you other things. Feel what's best for you. But if in the case, or how does that feel? Like, have you thought about that or?
I have, and I did so when I first started this whole thing a couple of years ago, I did use my personal account for a long time. I kind of realized that I needed to separate it just because I wasn't showing up authentic, like the way that I needed to show up, because I was so worried about like, oh, like people from like my hometown are following me and I can't like, I feel like I've gotten over that in the last like 6 months. So it's just kind of, and I've had that other account that I've kind of woken up in the last month or so. So, but I'm doing a lot of like sharing them to the same account.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like leverage my personal too, because I'm noticing like I do have a lot of people that I got a lot of like people that do know me that are interested in hearing it, but they might not follow my other account. So I'm trying to do like the collaboration pieces for reels that I feel like are relevant. And then I'm like resharing a lot of it to my story. So if people like want to follow me over there, they can, but they're still getting it from my personal. But yeah, I guess from like a marketing piece, if I'm reaching out to, and I do usually reach out to, you know, create, like I have a couple creators that I did reach out to, and I'm having conversations through my personal account because it does have a bigger following. But everything's like linked in there too. It's like I'm using the other one to like try and grow an audience until it gets up to like a similar number, and I'll utilize that. But I'm working with my travel account or my personal account to reach out just so that it does humanize things a little bit.
Okay, hold tight 1 second. Let me digest what you just said and look for something. Are you on LinkedIn?
Not for this. I have like my regular LinkedIn for like my regular work, but yeah.
I would get on LinkedIn for this.
Okay.
Because
I know, I've been thinking that.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram, it's a different vibe. That's usually like the business to consumer vibe. And you gotta post and you gotta he and rattle and dazzle. LinkedIn is very much business to business. Shoot your fucking shot. Who responds? I'm telling you, like the connection. I've never been a fan of LinkedIn. I've just started like taking advantage of it. The connections I make on there are nuts. Like, what the hell? How did I just get in connection with this person? Like, so random. Very targeted though and intentional. So I'm sending probably like 150 invites to people in Ojai and Ventura. Like, where are the people at? You could target very specific locations that might have higher pay like fucking income. What is that called? They got more money. Or you know, Montecito, you know, high, blah blah blah.
They have the means.
Because LinkedIn, you have more controls. You can find the CEOs. You can find the, you know, I'm thinking of Ojai Valley Inn, like where all the directors at. Like they need you to come into the Ojai Valley Inn, a 5-diamond hotel. Like maybe you come in and curate spaces for them that are having groups. You get what I'm saying? Hotel shit like that. So then be very intentional on LinkedIn. Go find those people, connect, wait like 2 weeks, and then shoot them a copy paste message. My name's Madison. This is what I do. Utilize chat or a copywriter, somebody that can help you really make that message good, and then send it to all of them. And don't be weird about, I'm spamming them. No, you're not. You're doing your job. Good girl.
Okay. Yeah.
I had that. I was like, oh shit, this is so spammy. Nobody cares, dude. This is business women. They're all trying to do the same shit too.
Yeah.
So on LinkedIn. Okay, so then in the background, I want to look at some of these resources. So I kind of want to pinpoint, let me just show you actually. Because on one hand, I think you got a good foundation. It seems like you just want a little bit more clarity about like how to position it, how to actually like share this in a way that everybody is clear on what you're offering and who it's for.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So let me share my screen with you. I'm gonna turn my freaking camera off because it'll start glitching out. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Are you clear on who your target audience is for each one of these offers? And you can kind of give me a simple answer here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Scaling growth. Hang on. Sales funnel, sales strategy. Okay, I want to just show you this in case. Oh God. So there's this one, messaging or transitioning your marketing message. And at first this was like, oh, okay, I think this one might be good for her. But then you got a lot of like your foundational pieces. I think you do have a lot of clarity. I think it's just the up level. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just like, all right, I've been doing it. Let's fucking up the ante type thing.
Scale it up. Yeah, exactly.
but here I think can you see this, right? Shifts in perspectives. This
It's
is
still
kind
showing like I don't know if you have it, or you have a there we go. There we go. Okay.
Beautiful. Okay, so I created this for myself and then for others who like you've been doing the same shit, but you as a person may have evolved. And then you still do the same things, you still offer the same things, but maybe they need to be communicated in a different way or little shifts and tweaks. Like, so I feel like kind of like giving you this in the sense everybody too. But there's some cool things in here, like where are you holding on to old offers and messaging out of fear of like losing people? And maybe that's not exactly what you're needing support in, but maybe just like kind of checking through some of this. And then it gives you this, which I kind of like, this is also just a good thing. Like, go make sure this shit is clear and concise, like in your bios, right? I love in chat asking. So like we just did a replay, or we just did a thing where we taught chat about like ourselves and then our business, and then we asked it for brand messaging.
That's cool. Yeah.
So maybe something like that could support you in there. I'm gonna just give it to the chat real quick, just in the case that anybody needs that. And again, it might just be beneficial to just double check with yourself. Okay, that link I just did, that's the transitioning. Sorry. Hi girls, welcome. We're diving into Madison was just asking some questions about clarity with her social media, so I'm giving some resources. Okay girl, let me then now show you this other one. I know you have to leave soon. Madison, is this making a difference for you, girl?
Yeah, no, it is. It's good. It's actually like affirming a lot of the stuff that I'm already doing, which is really nice. I've been doing this for like on and off for 2 years. Like I said, it's been refined for a long time, but it's really nice because I did start using chat to like basically like train my own GPT and then act as that. So I didn't do like get to know me first, which I like because I could go back and have and kind of refine the algorithm, I guess, or the way that it's trained to update that. But I did try to get it to use like my voice. So I used like the voice and I was like, listen to my tone and the way that I talk and implement it into my copy. So that's I like that tip though.
Okay, perfect. So then I have these two other things, but I'm like, you need something almost like specific for like a content strategy. And I thought we had one in there. These might be, I'm trying to look, I'm sorry, scaling. I'm like, this is like, no, because you kind of already have this. This is more like sales. Again, all these are in the ecosystem membership. These are like simple sales funnel frameworks.
No. That's also helpful. Yeah. Okay. I'll definitely look at this though.
Okay, so let me drop this in too. Okay, so then, sorry, I don't have what I'm looking for, but essentially what I wanted to tell you, maybe I should just fucking create the document. That'll be so fun. So I go into, like for marketing, is that, okay, so you have, do you have a website?
I have landing pages set up right now. I have a website. I need to update it though, but I have landing pages for now.
Okay, yeah, update those. And then I kind of always use the homepage or landing pages, whatever your hub is, as kind of like your blueprint of what your posts need to be about. Because marketing is really about rinse and repeat numbers, because you have to factor there's billions of people. One person is seeing thousands of pieces of fucking information across all different platforms. It doesn't matter how many times you post. Like, it's okay. You're not bombarding anybody. The algorithms purposely show things at certain times, right? So post, right? Show up. Where am I going with this? Okay, so how I look at it is, I think one of the things, and I don't know if this is so accurate anymore, it takes about 19 times for people to see your content before they're like, oh, all right, you got my motherfucking attention. So I always look at it like, let's say minimum 3 posts a week, minimum. If you're going to do bare ass minimum, just get 3 fucking posts out, have them be high quality, focus on sharing about who you are, right? Give education, give value, have a call to action on every post. If you do those 3 posts, they should be back to back. So that way you're never like starting the algorithm over. And what I mean by that, most people post on Monday, you'll get a little traction. They won't post on Tuesday. Then they go post on Wednesday, they get a little traction. And then every time you're like stopping a day, you're almost losing the ball going. So post on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Okay.
The algorithm rolling. Every time you post to social media, reshare that shit to your story. If it goes on your newsfeed on Instagram, I think maybe TikTok lets you do that. Right? Like if you're posting to the main newsfeed, reshare that. You used to have to wait until you had 10,000 followers to add a link. You don't have to do that anymore. So again, remarketing, reshare your post story to a story, add the link, drive them where you need to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Every single time.
Okay. And do you think I should post like for each service line 3 times in a row or different? Does it matter?
Is that go and focus. Like focus into, because again, you need content about who you are, right? So they understand, because you're out of 1 million people, they want to know who you are specifically. They're buying you first. So lead with that. Most of your content should be about who's Madison, what does she stand for, what is she doing, how does she help, what does she solve, what is she like. Share the fuck out of that information, because that's how you get people emotionally connected and trusting. And then you just purple cowed yourself. That's a marketing term, right? You stand out of everybody. And then you can get into the logistics. There's pointers in your business that need to be touched on every single time. And why I was referencing the website is just kind of an easy way, is like, think of your website, a potential website, right? You have your homepage, whatever info is on that homepage, that could be a 1 post a day, right? Hey, check this thing. I have an integration guide on my website. Go check it out. Download it here. Okay, now you just social media people off and brought them to your website. That's your real thing, or your landing page. You want to get them off of social media onto wherever you hold the data. And then you have like your services page or your products page. Well, that could be a post itself each week, right? So then the about section, or, and then testimonials or whatever, however people lay their shit out. And so I like looking at that is like, pick your content pillars. What are the 1 to 3 things that you need to be talking about every single week, right? You need to talk about yourself. You need to talk about an offer. You need to talk about what your difference is. And then you need to ask them to come fucking work with you, right? I actually really will create what I'm saying, and I'll send the PDF soon. I like saying this. I'm trying to think. Okay, I do have this one. I have one. I got one more for y'all. One more recent, I think. Maybe I'll come back to that because I have to go find it. Rinse and repeat. And so even with like using your human design in chat, you could ask chat, factor in my human design. I love human design. Factor in my human design, put your landing pages or your social media link in with it, and then say, give me a way that like, give me a content strategy for my content numbers, and then just rinse and repeat with that.
Okay. I like
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that helps a lot. I think, I think it's like trying to find like a good, so sorry, I think I missed it. Did you say to post like the different, like all the offers kind of together, or focus on one?
Oh, got it. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Sorry. I would do, like, I would keep it focused on one thing at a time. And again, like, I always start, like, I'm always going to go, like, nobody knows who I am. So, like, for you, if I was going to give you a social media calendar, go do who Madison is, right? And then the next day you do a post and you teach them about something, maybe a travel or a trick or some bullshit. I don't know. And then the next day you tell them about a service coming up. Pick one, right? Reshare it to your story. Next day, follow up educational or value or a testimonial that supports that service, right? Then the No, I'm saying you're doing 5 posts a week. And then the last post of the week should be a call to action. You're re-saying the product or the service that you're touching on. You're recapping the value, and then you say, "Come fucking schedule something with me." Right?
Yeah.
Because then you look at it, you've done a whole week's worth of stuff where you've shown who you are, you've given value, you've educated, it looks nice, it's great content. I love long form content. They're very much favoring that nowadays. So write your little heart out, right? If you want. And then you also have to ask people to take an action because they won't. Like you have to be like, all right, like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
When you give that much value leading up to the ask, it makes the ask easier because you're like, dude, I just do all this shit for free. Now come hang out with me and pay me.
Right. Yeah.
So that could be in that sense. Then the next week, maybe, some people have products and services, they could switch that up, right? If I'm kind of being honest, I think you probably need like 2 weeks or 3 weeks on just one service, right? And maybe I need to like look at it a little bit more because it seems like there might just be a little bit more effort into getting that set up, but we're going to connect soon, so I'll know. So maybe you take on your services, think it out, but maybe you need 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or maybe you have 1 month that I'm just doing this, right? And then you pop in the other shit in your stories.
Yeah.
Like, hey, don't forget about this. Join my wait list for this. I'm going to be talking about this next month. So I think it's also just priority. Where do you make your most money? Where do you want your time spent? And then just focus on that. And like I said, 10 times, like post about the thing at least 10 fucking times some way on a story, platforms, this and that.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. I think I'm also going to do like a pinned post for each service because there's 3 I can do. Boom, boom, boom. And at least it'll just live there. And then I can do that strategy on top of it. I think that really helps.
Yeah. Another thing just for everybody, I just started doing this too because of the link thing. So like, okay, I went through Ventura County Businesswomen and on my personal, I posted all the stories of like the website, right? So if you look through the Instagram, it has like highlights of like the about, the home, the fucking become a member, right? Each one of those is a 1-picture story with a link to the website. And then I just left it in the highlight section. I think that some people use those highlights and they drop so many things in there, like where you click through them. And you're like, oh my God. I don't know how valuable that is in most cases, but I think every person should have a highlight in their section and at least have 1 freaking link extra just to certain, like even all your landing pages. Because then it's there. Have a highlight that says work with Madison, link it to your landing page, etc. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Never even thought about that. Yeah.
No, I just did it last week. I was like, oh shit, this might be very beneficial.
Yeah, because if you have the highlights, anyway, okay, yes.
So try that. That will drive some traffic too. Okay, beautiful. I hope you got good stuff out of it.
You did. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, who's next? We're rolling and going. We got Allison. Did you get your Allison post? Yeah, post is talk. When I say post, I usually am talking about to the news feed on the grid, the one that stays there forever until you delete it.
Okay.
And then repost those to your stories.
Okay.
Allison, do you want to, since you're unmuted, you want to work some things out?
Yeah, that was really helpful, by the way, just listening to everything with Madison. I was like taking a ton of notes. So now I have to try and like shift back to myself. But I think for me, there is some overlap to where kind of like I said in my intro, like I kind of have 3 different areas that I'm investing some time in right now. So like the Etsy shop, the local events, and then just building my online audience. And like I said before, the majority of my online audience is like spread everywhere. It's like a bunch of other writers and poets and people like that. And so I do worry that if I start posting constantly about like local events, that they'll be like, oh, this page isn't really for me. But I want to keep the more global audience because they can buy my book when it comes out. But I don't have that call to action of the book right now. So like my call to action related to the book is to sign up on my website to be notified when it comes out. So that's kind of like my pain points right now. And then, yeah, I was thinking maybe you could just take a peek at my website or my Instagram and just kind of tell me what you think.
Yeah, will you drop them in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, so same things, very similar. And yeah, I will go create like a social media strategy thing. I have so many ideas. And then I'll send that out to like the community or post it somewhere. I think it's kind of similar. It's like, you know, because a lot of us like, and I very much get it. Like, I have the same thing. I got Ventura County businesswomen. I got businessmen. I got the driving business me and my husband got. I have all these services that I offer. How do we post about them all? It's just rotation. So I think, again, speaking always to the mindset as business women, you got to take the emotional shit out of it in that sense. And what I mean by that is we tend to get in our head about I'm being seen too much, I'm posting too much, I'm coming off salesy, I might be desperate. I mean, whatever your flavor is, right? So just be very mindful of that. There's nothing wrong with you. We all do it. Give her a little kiss as she's scared. Go put her in the corner, and then you woman comes up. I'm a multi-passionate dimensional woman. I have all these things to share. Obviously, we're intentional about you do the logistics, know who you're talking to when you're selling this one particular service, and make that they can read, right? And they can feel the energy. So I think you just have to show up. What was that I saw? You don't have a money problem, you have a visibility problem. You don't want to be seen. And I'm posting, like I'm in this space right now because I am posting so much right now. I am so fucking uncomfortable because guess who has all those fears, girl? Hi. I'm so scared about freaking pissing people off. So I'm posting on LinkedIn, my personal and the business page. We post on the Facebook group. We post on the business page. I post on my personal. I post on my business account, the or the Instagram Ventura County account, and my personal account. So it's almost, and then next door and Alignable. So we got almost like 8, 9, and now YouTube. Fuck. People are seeing it way more, but it's not people are seeing it at different times because there is an algorithm. So you almost have to, again, put your business thing in here. The more you post, the more you show up, you're beating that algorithm. Because like I went on to Ventura County Businessmen Instagram account, and it was showing me a post that I did 4 days ago, but that's because I've been posting so much. I've been pushing out content. So there's the practicality of you got to just show up and talk about it 10 times each thing. And then if you're like, because most women are like, nobody's buying from me. You did not talk about it enough. You did not tell enough people. Sales and marketing.
Yeah, like I shared a couple posts, not on Instagram, but elsewhere about like my Etsy shop. And then I just felt really down like the next couple days because I just felt like it was my first time talking about something like monetizing something. And I felt so uncomfortable and like this pit in my stomach. Like, I don't know. It's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that's where most people stop. That's where most people give up. And then they'll say, they'll go do something else. Even though this is why I talk about the internal side, is because they're just fears. We all have them. And are you going to be a woman that takes a fucking breath and keeps on going? You know what I'm saying? And very much so, we have to breathe through that. I was sharing with the other call too, because I've been so head down building out all of the systems. I haven't had a lot of space to offer my own personal stuff, right? So then I worked it out with chat. I got all clear. I know who I am, what I want. I got all the marketing. I put it out on the website. I was so excited. This is like 2 months ago. I haven't had anyone buy from me yet. One person. And at first I was a little like, I'm so sad. But then guess what? I looked at my social media. I said, I didn't tell nobody about it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I've just been posting about it, and literally like the last week of me going ham, I'm getting so many people like, wait, what are you doing? Wait, what is this? And then someone got the fucking workbook I was promoting, and then they were like, this is like a lot. Can you do a workshop? Oh my God, absolutely. Let me. Yeah, it's so exciting, right? So again, kind of even going back to how we talked with Danielle, I could have gotten distracted in the fear and mindset of like, nobody likes me, nobody wants me, I'm not good enough. Even those did come through, but I breathed through them, right? Came back to my truth. Sometimes it's just getting worked out. Logistics are getting worked out. You're tuning, the right people are tuning. So whatever, if that helps.
Yeah.
That's the mindset of it. Okay, but more logistical things or anything you want to say. Sorry, girl.
I'm just processing for a
Mhm.
sec.
I love that. Mm.
Yeah, I think that's helpful. And I think, like you said, like there's a lot of overlap with Madison. I did drop in the chat my website and Instagram if you want
Yep.
to take a look and then tell me if you think like there's anything
Yes.
in particular.
Instagram. I'm going to turn my camera off. I'm going to share the screen. Allison. Oh, look it. That might help if I hit share. This is so simple. I don't like Google's. Okay, here we go. Written by Allison. Oh, look at that. 888. That's a good sign, girl.
I know,
Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah, very good. Okay, here's some things that I would tell you. This is for you, but for everybody. Written by Allison, great. The only word really that is like a key word, so which is going to help you pull up in the algorithm, is if someone types in Allison or written. So just so you know there, right? So then right here, this little section that's, oh, for the love of it, how hot. Okay, that little section right here that has your name. Your username and this spot are the two places that are polling for keywords to help you bump up in the algorithm. So yes, your name is great. That's awesome. Is this what people are going to be finding you for? On one hand, yes, but you could also might use different keywords that are maybe polling more local or they're polling more global. Maybe you're putting poet, motherhood. Those are like keywords that I'm talking about. Writer community. You would want to use keywords probably more so in this space so that if anybody searches those words, you're going to pull up higher in the algorithm.
Oh, okay.
And then put your name in the bio or something.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
Ask chat too. Take a picture or screenshot or take your profile Instagram, go put it in chat. Say, I need to write I need keywords. You could even do your website too. I need keywords for my business to be searchable higher in the algorithm. What are good keywords for my profile? You could also go look up writer and see what the top accounts are. They're going to have really large followings. See what keywords they have in that box. That will also
Oh yeah,
be
that's a good idea. Okay.
going into your bio. Poet exploring motherhood, identity, stories our bodies hold. And that's great. Perfect. Do you love that bio?
No, I mean, I don't feel anything about it. Like it's fine.
Let me come back to that. I think you could do better.
Okay.
Like hitting, you know what I'm saying? Oh, also the Allison name spot, you can only change that maybe every 14 days. So make sure you really like your keywords too. Right here again, those highlight sections. See, like this stuff's cute. I love this. This is great. Cute. I'm getting a, oh, hello. That is so cute. You get the vibe, right? But also at the same time, that could be pieced in down here or on your stories, right? This is like prime fucking real estate right here. It's like 6 seconds of somebody reading your bio before they go on to something else. So again, that potency, right? Get them to click as fast as possible. I would want to see like a logo or your face or something where the journal's at. Click it, and then that's where I'm talking about. Maybe you just do one photo and you link it somewhere because get them
Got
off
it.
Instagram, right? Get them to
Yeah.
your website so you own their you own that data. I really look at for marketing, unless you have their email or their phone number, it's not a real connection. So even people that have fat ass followings, how many people you got of their email and their fucking phone number? That is true business having contact, because if any of these social medias go away and you don't have that contact info, that's it. Rebuild, right?
Mhm.
Try to drive as much away from the social media platform so you're capturing email, phone numbers, some way to stay and connect. I do like the event thing, so I would keep that. I think that's beneficial. The only thing I have about these like highlight sections, keep them relevant. And I'm saying that for my own thing. I went through all of our highlight section. I was like, oh my God, this is like not even correct info anymore. So stay updated on those. And then have them be like actually branded cover photos. Maybe it's a logo, it's same template of something, just to make it cohesive, because again, that's literally the first thing that they're seeing.
Yeah.
I definitely think I love your pin post. I think that's a great, like, hello, there you are, and then your little poems. That's fucking great. Let me see. Let's go check out your website. Actually, wait, let me see this. Do you use hashtags?
Yeah.
People have been going back and forth about hashtags. I love hashtags for specifically location-based things. So not so much for like the general, global side. I like using hashtags for like hashtag Ventura, hashtag Ojai, hashtag Thousand Oaks, very location specific.
Okay.
So those are you're doing. That will help just like build the engagement there. If you're on your mobile and you go to the post, I want to see, maybe if you do you have your phone to look at this stuff?
Yeah.
Go to your go to Instagram, go to your profile,
Mhm.
go to this post,
Mhm.
click on it,
Okay.
and then say view insights.
Okay.
Scroll down. Does it say from hashtags? Like it will say home, profile, hashtags, other.
Yes. Other. Yeah.
Does it say hashtags on there?
No, it just says home profile other.
Okay, so those hashtags you used on the post didn't bring you any views. That's the best way to check if your hashtags are working.
Oh, really? Okay.
So when it says, so like that specific post, right, brought you how many people from home, that number is from how many people follow you and are seeing you, right? They saw your post. Profile means somehow they went to your profile and they saw it. They were probably searching you, someone reshared about you, etc. That's how that number can kind of come in. Other tends
Okay.
to be, I think more like story shares if you're on the explore page. No, actually, I
Okay.
think Explore might be different. I think other is like if other people are sharing it, and I think that's how you get that number on specifically. And then when it says
Okay.
hashtags, that's how many people came from the hashtags.
Gotcha.
So one of the things is, 5 posts on your hashtags on your post could really help. Make sure there may be more location specific. The other thing that I would say about how to use hashtags correctly, visit Camarillo. All hashtags have these associated numbers with them. You've probably seen that. Can you all see my screen still?
Mhm.
Okay, you see how Ventura County has 1.1 million posts? For a small account, do you see the number and what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those, when you have hashtags with fat numbers like that and you have a smaller account, let's just chop that up to 10,000 followers or less, you're bidding for hashtags, right? So people that have bigger communities, more engagement, likes, reposts, and they use the same hashtag as you, they tend to get the views of that because they're getting engaged. The algorithm is essentially saying it's already liked, we'll keep pushing it out, right? So then it kind of takes away from your ability to capture those views using that hashtag. You're bidding on it. So what I always say with hashtags is like scale it down. Do you see how Ventura Boulevard, you might want to double check if that actually means Ventura Boulevard. But like Ventura, California, that's only 129,000 posts, and that's talking the entirety of Instagram. So finding lower, like stay out of the millions. Like don't use a hashtag that has a million
Got it.
tags, right? Because you're not going to get shit from that. If you get the smaller hashtags, let's say 500,000 and less, typically for an account that has less than 10,000 followers, you're going to be able to actually utilize those hashtags to bring views. And that's where most people put hashtags on their posts and it doesn't do shit for them. They can't tell it didn't do shit for them. So just even in you knowing how to go double check that information, you'll be able to make a little bit more conscious decisions about what hashtags to put on there. And again, to find hashtags, just like you could literally just search like hashtag, type in I'm using location specific, Camarillo. I'd probably use that. I like using mobile better because it's only letting me see a couple. This will give, like on mobile version, it will give me like an entire list of similar related hashtags, but then I can find the one that has a more aligned where I can actually get the views, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. Okay, now we're gonna go to your website real quick and then we'll wrap up with your website. Love. Do you
Is
have a
this where
look?
we find? Is this where we find out that it doesn't work?
I know, fuck. I know, and your links always. God, how many times I like have broken links. I have to say, I appreciate a clear hi, hello right off the freaking bat.
Okay.
Let me know who you are. Also, just for whatever it's worth, like put your freaking last name on your website or social media. It is crazy to me how many times I go trying to look for somebody's name on social media or then like on their website. And I'm like, I do not know this person's last name, or you can't even have their whole name. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Love. So this is like your wait list.
Yeah.
Is there anything here like they get a free poem that you could add or some shit? Like, I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, because people want to see things. Like even that way you could like switch out that photo for something like maybe do like a branded Canva template or something with one of your poems and then slap, or you get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah, because then you're getting people, and then you could eventually maybe like have your email list, it's nurtured in that sense where even if they didn't get the poetry book, but they love what emails you're sending to the community with maybe a new poem, or I don't know, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Oh, like that, like featured poem. You could even do something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Follow along. Love the Instagram. Great. Strong. Love. Do you have all your SEO like done?
No.
That's worth looking out. Also, do you see my tab up here? How it has that black circle or that black box in the URL tab where I'm circling?
No, I can't see it.
I don't know what that's called. Favcon, I think, in the top.
Oh, okay.
You don't have a logo, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Sometimes maybe it's because I do websites in that sense. When people have those black boxes, I'm like, your shit's not filled out all the way.
Okay.
So just for what, maybe you have like your face, or it could be even like a Canva, just a nice copy, a circle logo that says writing by Allison.
Okay.
Okay. Just off the top writing, like, okay, this is great, but this does not make me want to click on anything. And I think
Okay.
it's the visual. So on one hand, like when I click on writing, I kind of guess I have this expectation, but I also very much am visual aesthetic vibe. I would rather see a cover photo with the name
Okay.
of the title, and then so I can click it.
Okay.
Let me just show you what I did it that way. I did literally the exact same thing. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this
yeah.
is my personal blog. Unfortunately, I can't make the fucking thing smaller, but that's all right. Before I just had it listed out, and then I switched to this. It drove way more traffic. So just a cover photo, a little bit of info, maybe for you, click more, drive traffic.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I also think that banner that you have on the page should somehow put written by Allison, is because that is like what you lead with for the business. Written by Allison, like, is that how you would introduce, like, hi, I'm Allison, I'm the owner of Written by Allison? Like, would you say it that way or no?
I don't know. I guess I haven't done that yet.
Okay, gotcha. Because maybe you could put something like, if you're gonna curate any kind of graphics using that, maybe that would be a better fitting right here, instead of the leaf photo.
Yeah.
Like just a little bit more, because then you also think like headers pull for SEO. So like when people aren't putting headers on there, like that's why heat maps, even talking to Justine, like, you know how you pick and it says like header 1, header 2.
Yes.
It seems like it's more of an aesthetic thing, but you're
Right.
telling you're telling Google where to start and read pages, because it's technically code. It doesn't see what you see. So when you say header
Oh.
1 and you put copy in there, it knows that that's like the starting place. And then if you're putting like written by Allison, again, those are keywords on there for you that will help with that SEO. So those places when you put in your website, you want headers, you want the subtext.
Oh, I had no idea about that.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, and that's why we're here today. I just
Thank you.
so yeah, that might just be a better use of space.
Mhm.
Add some photos maybe in that, like, because I think this is good. And you have a lot of publications, which is awesome. Okay, so that's what I'd say about that. Let me go back to your home real quick. One other thing, honest, like, this is really great, your opt-in. I would put 2 buttons somewhere, whether it's down here or after the landing, that is writing in events. I found that
Oh,
to
okay.
be really important for like when we updated the website, is like factor that someone's only going to see one page and they're not going to know how to use your links up top. Like that's just kind of how I
Oh,
always.
okay.
So I always want to, especially with mobile version, that's also really important. I fucked up on this too. Like, didn't even fucking think about it for so long. Make sure you know if your people, most of my people were mobile, and the whole freaking website was designed for desktop.
Yeah.
Sure, you know, are they watching you mostly from mobile or mostly from yada yada? And make sure you
Okay.
have links, right? So, and then when you get to writing, have like an events button or about button on here,
Oh, okay.
right? If you're on the events page, this is great, beautiful. Um, what website are you on?
Squarespace.
Squarespace. This is good. I would also, there's pros and cons to using that calendar, pros and cons, but something maybe to factor, just for the sake of that's a lot of stuff if you're on mobile.
Okay.
But it might be really clean. So just see what you like specifically, but maybe with events you put, you know, don't forget to check out my writing, or send me a message if you want to collab on an upcoming event. I don't know, you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. This stuff, see how big this curve is?
Yeah.
Some factor that we learned with heat maps, this is really cute and stuff, but sometimes people don't understand to keep scrolling. And I know it sounds
Oh.
silly. They might on this, but just like maybe you looking through your website, especially on that mobile version, just make sure that it's not so far down, because like even a mobile version, it will like push that text so far down. Just make every,
Okay.
you know, concise and condensed, so no one's like, oh, the page is done.
Oh, okay.
Print job, love, cute. Again, this is where I'd backlink things. Don't forget to
Okay.
check upcoming events. Go check my writing. And again, see where you want to put all that shit. But I think that should definitely be a photo of you right here, or again, that
yeah.
might create. Just forever it's worth, make sure your email is actually connected right to this on the back end. I have done that before.
Oh, okay.
Writing contact events. All right, dude. Honestly, I think you have a really strong website. I think you could just up level it to make it stronger, convert better, but I think it's pretty
Mhm.
solid.
That was
That's
so
fun.
helpful. Thank you, Tawney.
You're so welcome. All right, girl, I'm moving and grooving because I know we are going. Lexa, girl, you got anything? You ready? You want to talk some things out? Do you need?
Yeah, I guess like I feel like I know the answer, but I still struggle with doing it. And my block is around putting myself first as a client to do my own marketing. And yeah, that's kind of just like what I'm struggling with most. Like I already know the logistics and the how-tos of how to do this stuff. I just kind of similar to what Madison said earlier, like where she's so in her business that sometimes it's hard to like decipher what really needs to be said, shared. Yeah.
Okay, I want to kind of, because you wrote it down earlier too, and I'm like, Okay, so like you do content, email, Pinterest, blogs, you have all this array of stuff, and you do love doing it, right? You're happy to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Is there any of those things that you're like, I do not like doing it for other people?
So it's really funny. I enjoy social media strategy, but I don't like posting for people. So that's kind of how I've like modified and stayed away from social media full management. I've realized with my variety of offers that I enjoy the variety. Like I've had moments where I'm like, oh, should I do email marketing only? Should I do Pinterest marketing only? And I try that for a little bit and then I just realize I get bored in it. And I know jobs have boring days and tasks. So yeah, I like doing all of the things.
Okay, and then so when it comes to, so you're kind of saying you don't really want to do your content, do your emails, your blogs. Like by the time you're done with the client stuff, coming to go do your stuff to promote it, get more clients, you're like,
Yeah, it's like I try to make it the top of my to-do list and then I'm like, oh shoot, I have this creative burst to, finish designing pins for somebody. And then by the time it's my afternoon or whatever, I go, I'll just like do that tomorrow. And then for myself. And tomorrow just never happens for me.
Okay, so why do you feel that you have to do content, social media, blogs, emails for your own business?
It's how I guess like it's how I create my little corner of the internet, the same way that I help the clients I work with create their corners of the internet. And I'm creating that balance of like, here I have this backlog of bingeable content that people can trust if they're new to me. And at the same time have like the blog, the website, SEO, the Pinterest, more of like my long form strategy versus the social media and the in-person networking being like the short term arm of it. So I'm focused on a mix. I focus on a mix.
Here's what's coming to my brain, which is funny. Okay, just because you do it for other people doesn't mean you need to do it for yourself all the time. And like, and there's practicality, right? So I'm kind of just starting on like the foundation in mindset vibe of it is like, I think we get caught up in, well, I do this for other people. I'm a hypocrite that I'm not doing it for myself. Most house cleaners don't want to clean fucking houses all day and then go home and then clean their house.
Yeah.
I actually know myself. I have not even been doing social media. Like we used to have like all of our posts. I'm so fucking gassed out, dude. I'm just resharing and popping up where I can, right? I had that of I am a marketer. I should be doing my own marketing. But also at the same time, it's not true for just whatever that's worth. Like you could be very fucking successful and never do one thing on the internet, never post a piece of content, never do a blog post. Like I really do believe that because I bet if you showed up, and also I've been around you, if you showed up in the right places at the right time that felt really fucking good to you, you would find your clients. And so I think there's also that part of honoring yourself and knowing yourself. Find the things that you enjoy doing. Like you don't have to do social media if you don't want to, but if you love fucking writing blogs for yourself, then do that. Do you get what I'm pointing to in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you teach them how to do that doesn't mean you need to do it all the time for yourself. Anything you want to say before, or anything that like comes up out of that or anything?
I guess what comes up is I hear you and I understand that sentiment, but I still am over here like that is just how I envision doing stuff. So I'm probably still gonna, try to figure out how to make that work for myself. And that's probably mostly because I'm still in like throwing spaghetti at the wall phase in terms of finding that intersection of like where I like to hang out and where I've actually seen like a return on my time invested. So yeah, I'm kind of like casting a big net right now and just going through the process of fine-tuning later, like where I focus.
Yeah. Then in that sense, I think, because what I'm saying is like, don't do it. I mean, not like don't do it. I think just be mindful, right? Because then you end up spending a lot of fucking bullshit. You get to do it because you want to do it and you're good at it, I guess is the point I was making. And do it all. Honestly, it's like almost like how Madison and them were talking in that sense of like they have so many things that they could do and offer. And then it's just a matter of where did they specifically want to spend time to kind of feel it out. You could do something very similar. Like maybe it's 2 weeks on certain things that you're, 2 weeks you're going freaking ham on blogs, right? Well, maybe you're time blocking it to get a lot done. Factoring in your human design and your workflow or something. Or maybe it's 2 weeks and you're going crazy on just focusing on content and ideas and creativity. Or maybe you go back and it's a little bit of each week. You're doing everything every week, but it's like micro bites of everything. I'm always going to go into human design with that. Have you worked any of that? Like, have you worked out any of this with chat regarding your human design?
I don't use chat for it just because I have so much knowledge myself about human design. So I like loosely, I guess it's already influenced by that because I've been doing that for like years. Which I think is also why I kind of like jump around from thing to thing because it's very like generator-esque of me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that it could also just be this small tweak in maybe how you're doing it. So not necessarily it's not that you don't want to do it for yourself, but maybe how you're doing it. Because on one hand, you're like, fuck, I'm dragging my feet to do this shit, but I also want to do it.
Yeah.
So maybe there's that shift in recreating what are you doing and how are you doing things when you go to hit these tasks. Because sometimes, like when I look at procrastination, I think it could be like 3 different things, right? One, it's out of alignment. You shouldn't be doing it. So you keep procrastinating in it, right? So, and that's kind of what I was saying. Just double check if that's it, right? If you're not, then you keep going. The other thing could be because you need to work some stuff out. That's what I was talking about in the beginning of the call, neutral. You kind of need to like, you have this ideal percolating, all these things, but you need to sit back. Things need to like get worked out. And then what was the other one? Don't know the other one. So those two things, those could be things, some reasons for procrastination. Where the fuck was I going with that? Neutral. It'll come back to me in a second. Maybe not. What? It's so funny how that happens. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to tell you all these things. Nope. Drop the thought. Dragging my feet. So yeah. So yeah, how we go. I'm just going to keep going with that. So maybe you look at content. Okay, how have you been doing content? How have you been creating it? What have you been talking about it? And then see why and then like ask yourself, like, why am I dragging my feet? Maybe there's it's too much at once. Like I used to do the social media. It was taking me 4 fucking hours, dude. Oh my God. Like it would take me 4 hours of sitting there and I couldn't. I hated it, but I love doing the social media content. So my thing is I just post every day now manually. That does not work for everybody, but it's working for me right now. That feels way better. I can post every single day about certain things. I can't sit there for 4 hours trying to do a week's worth of posts. So maybe shifting how you're creating the content, what you're doing. Maybe get a buddy. I don't know, like where it's exciting or something. You schedule it out. What else did you say? What was the other one? The blog. Oh, blog, Pinterest, email marketing. Maybe like just how you do it for other people, like almost like taking it on like you as a client instead of like you being the one that has to do it. But that would be kind of like an interesting scenario to like work out with yourself where you're like, okay, like you have content, you got emails, you got blogs. What doesn't work for you right now? And then you get to like still be the one that's finding the solution, but maybe with a little bit more play and permission to like still do all those things, but maybe it just wants to be done in a little bit of a different way. Maybe you're talking about something, maybe you need to leave your house, maybe you need to hire a friend that's like recording you to like make it fun and exciting. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. Maybe just change up how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Love that. Anything else there?
Not that I can think of.
And I don't think drag feet. No. Yeah, and that was kind of all the notes I had. Okay, perfect. Blanca, Angela, I know you girls hopped in a little bit later. We're at 10:30 right now. So I just want to say thank you to the other girls for hopping on. And then Angela or Blanca, if you girls have any questions, I'm happy to stay for another like 5 minutes just to see if I can support you with anything. If you guys have any questions.
I wanted to just say hello and thank you very much. This has been so interesting. I'm okay with all of my things right now, but I think all these little details of how to go in and check, to see if somebody's actually reviewed something on Instagram, that's great. And so I've been learning a lot. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for hopping on. Blanca girl, you have any questions? Are you kind of just tuning in, saying hi?
Hi. Yes, I was just tuning in just to, hear what everybody else is doing and maybe get inspo. I have nothing I have none of this stuff. So I have a lot to work on, but it's just, nice to hear everybody else's stuff. So thank you.
Yay, awesome. And then okay, so if anybody has any other questions or wants me to check anything out, and if not, then we could hop off and hopefully I see you guys on Tuesday.
Oh yes, we'll be there.
Awesome. Okay, girls, well have a beautiful day and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye. See you soon.